IATA is warning the travel ban adds to the industry's growing strains. Losses could surpass last week's estimates of $113 billion. Travel between the United States and Europe Schengen area amounts to 550 flights daily, 125,000 passengers. Alexandre de Juniac is the Director General. He joins me now on the line from Geneva in Switzerland on the phone. Alexandre, obviously this is a major impact on this. First of all, does IATA believe it was justified to have this this ban or this suspension?
Thank you, Richard. As you know, we are not generally in favor of restriction on travel, but we consider that exceptional circumstances, such as this virus, can justify for some states, right, because the United States are not the only one, to make that decision. Exceptional circumstances can justify exceptional decision. But what we say is two things. First of all, it has to be, as the WHO recommends, it has to be proportionate, exceptional, permanently reviewed, right, and limited in time. That's first point. And second point, permanently, the authorities and the U.S. government should assess the economic impact, which will be huge, not only on our right, sector, the airlines, it will be enormous, but also on the economy in general.
The devastating effect, I mean, I understand now, 113 billion, 26 billion extra in a sense of Schengen US air travel, according to your statement. How much worse do you think it will be for the airlines? Are you worried that some won't survive?
As you know, our estimate was a range going from 63 billion to 113. We think that with this additional ban on some routes and important routes like the transatlantic, we are closer and probably above the highest part of the range. So we have not made the estimate now. We are working on it, but the situation is very fluid. It's a moving target every day. And so we don't have a precise figure now, but we will be probably above the 130 billion that we have estimated.
So Norwegian today is a good example. Norwegian says it's cutting up to 50% of its staff, slashing its transatlantic by 40%, and its intra-European by 20%. If this carries on, airlines, some cannot survive, and I suggest, Alexandre, they're going to need bailouts.
It's exactly what we are advocating for. We are advocating for three types of measures from all governments on this planet. First of all, it's regulatory measures, to soften or to waive some of the, tough regulations that we are applying for this exceptional period. Secondly, we ask governments to reduce some charges on our P&Ls, airport charges, parking fees, overflight fees, taxes on passenger duty. And thirdly, we are strongly advocating government to put together and to implement a financial support plan, mainly with credit loans or treasury facilities or whatever, to help us to bridge the gap.
Let me ask you a blunt question here, Alexandre. Do you fear for the survival of some major carriers in Europe?
For the major carriers, I think they have the financial strength to overcome this very tough period, but it's not the case of everybody. As you know, for 10 years now, the resilience of the sector has improved. We have improved our balance sheet, our P&L, and it's true for the big European carriers. For some more fragile airline, we could be worried, and that's the reason why we are asking governments to act strongly and quickly.
Strongly and quickly. Thank you, Alexandre. Alexandre de Juniac joining us, and we'll monitor closely, as we always do, the aviation and airline industry. Thank